Have you seen bands on Hellfest today or?
Well, saw some Black Label Society. Sounded pretty good. And not much yet. Definitely gonna go check out Motley Crue and stuff. You know, whatever plays before us, get a chance to get a look at.
Hi guys, I just want to know how do you make your set list each night, if it's different each night, or it is the same for the tour? How about the set list?
On this tour we play a lot of club shows as well, so we have different set lengths. So we made a long set for this tour, and we just have to a little bit modify it for the shorter ones, because today we play only 60 minutes. So it's pretty much the same, but it's just a little bit shorter than the headliners. Question?
Are you actually writing new materials for your record?
Sorry, dude. Still can't hear, man. You know, it's this fucking bad playing.
Are you writing new materials for your record?
Yeah, man. I actually started like a month ago or something. Because the plan was to do basically all the touring first, and then start working on new material. But we had like a month and a half break, so I've already started writing. But after this festival run, which is about 3 weeks or so, we're gonna start working on the new music, and the plan is to hit the studio in December.
When you're on tour, do you work? Do you write some lyrics and some music when you're on tour? By example, today, did you work?
What, while touring? No, fuck that. No, I just can't do that, really. I mean, from my point of view, you know, it's just so much better for us to, you know, keep the touring life separate from the you know, writing life, so to speak, you know, because it's like, it's impossible for me to like try to concentrate and write new riffs, you know, while you're like surrounded by like all these fucking psychos who are drunk 24/7. So, you know, it's better to do that, and then, you know, when you get back home, you know, then just like kind of shut that off, and then only concentrate on the writing. That's what we usually do.
Question?
Hi guys, what has been your most iconic moment to date in your career?
Can you repeat that again? I mean, I can't fucking hear you, goddamn thing.
What has been your most iconic moment in your career so far?
Go ahead, dude.
Well, I'm gonna reply with a classic that I've used this reply a couple times in interviews. We once opened up for Slayer in Los Angeles, and I was playing my show, enjoying my time on stage, and I was interacting with my our monitor guy Cal, and then I took another listen to his direction. I noticed that Kenny G was standing next to him and rocking out to our show. So I think it's pretty fucking iconic that Kenny G was digging Children of Bodom. Thank you.
And also, actually, with Kenny G, there was Rob Lowe, you know, hanging out with him, and because his kids are fans of Children of Bodom too, so he was there as well. It's kind of weird.
Do you rock by the same way than your beginning? Do you use the same process than when you started your music?
Well, the producers and stuff or whatever?
Yeah, I want to know if you use the same process to rock.
Oh, you mean like, okay, I got it. Well, usually it's pretty much the same. The songwriting process, you know, we have everything ready before we hit the studio. And for us, you know, producer, you know, it basically equals a sound engineer, you know, but basically somebody who can tell us, you know, like, you know, maybe you should do that again, or maybe you should, you know, do that take again. But like producer for us isn't like he's not really involved with songwriting or anything. So yeah, so we roll, you know, the same style as always. Yeah. Someone?
Hi guys, when can we next expect you back in the UK?
Well, actually, we have no date set for UK for now. So hopefully we get the release out next spring, and then we're going on tour again. So hopefully next summer. Any other question?
Alright guys, Nick Azinis, pick from the pit. You just recently played a gig in Cyprus, so that's the first time you were down there. First of all, how was it? Second of all, more and more countries which have never seen metal bands as big as you are getting you down there. How do you find this improvement in the metal scene?
Well, Cyprus was great. We really enjoyed the show and the crowd, and everything was well organized. So the whole trip to Cyprus was a really positive thing. However, the second part of your question I didn't fully hear.
I'm saying that, you know, more countries which never really had a metal history, like India and Singapore and all these places, are getting more and more. The crowd demands more metal acts to go there. How do you find this improvement in the metal scene?
Well, that's for us, it's amazing. I mean, you mentioned Singapore, and we just played Singapore end of last year, and that was also a really nice experience. A great country and good show, and really nice people. So, of course, for us, it's really nice that more and more countries are demanding metal shows. Totally.
Yeah, places like San Salvador was pretty interesting. Actually, there was a good scene, but also, what else did we play? Jakarta sucked ass.
It did, yeah.
Yeah, it just didn't happen. There's another place. You named some places where like Far East. Anyway, interesting times.
Thank you, Robert.
The question can be stupid, but do you still have a dream? Do you still have a dream?
A dream?
A dream to do what?
A dream, you're a musician, you're playing what you love, but...
Well, I mean, from my point of view, you know, I think that, you know, basically the dream is just, you know, to improve as, you know, musicians, you know, all of us, and as songwriters, and just do more music, and you know, hopefully sell more records, you know, and fucking just keep on playing live as long as we can, because that is the dream, and we're actually living it right now, which is pretty fucking awesome. So yeah,
basically,
hopefully we can just keep
to
that
see
going.
another year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi guys. Well, he asked an interesting question about you touring the world and meeting different people and playing in some places where metal music is not expected. And you just say that Jakarta sucks. I mean, can you develop more? Because I'm, but in a serious way, you know, I come from Morocco, where metal music is not expected. So I want to know also, what's the motivation for Finnish guys to play metal music? I don't know if you understand the point.
I think I might have, but if my answer sounds weird, you know, then it's because I can't hear anything. Well, yeah. Well, what is it? Well, I think what the point was that, you know, like what should be done differently, you know, and like shows that got fucked up, like Jakarta, or no? Well, you see, that's the fucking problem here.
But did you hear the question or not? Did you want me to repeat? He just talked about you playing around the world and playing sometimes in some countries where metal music is not expected, like in Asia and maybe Dubai. I don't know where you have been, but and how do you feel about that? He says that Jakarta sucks. I want to know why. Is it for political reasons?
Well, it wasn't like, you know, the metal people. It wasn't the fans' fault. You know, the fans were still awesome. You know, just saying that Jakarta for us, you know, just, you know, happened to be one of the places where they really gave us a hard time, basically, even trying to get into the country, try to do the show, and it was not very well organized, and especially getting out of the country was even harder. So it was most definitely not the fans' fault, you know, like basically I think we ended up playing in front of like 300 people, but they were all like really psyched and into it. So, you know, this is something that, you know, you can't really fucking control. You know, so hopefully the promoters and whoever's involved will try to pitch in and, you know, try to make sure that the bands want to come back again. Because, I mean, yeah, that's what the fans want, right?
Just my second question was, what is the motivation for Finnish people to play metal? Because in the countries we talk about, you know, you have political motivations, rebellion, things like that. And for us, Finland, for example, is a good social example. So what is your motivation? You know?
I don't know. I mean, I love playing guitar. I mean, I fucking love it. I play live. I love music. Like, I love music more than I love anything or anybody in the whole fucking world. So I mean, that's my motive, basically.
Yeah, it sure is not political, like you mentioned. Yeah.
What happened in Jakarta was that when we got over there, like after a long flight, then our passports were taken away for a few hours. You know, they want some ransom for that. And then after that, you hit the traffic, get stuck there for 4 hours, and then go to the hotel and everything sucked. And then the next evening was the gig, and it wasn't actually pretty well organized at all. Few people came, didn't know much about the band, and then got back to the hotel, went to the airport, same traffic shit, and then our passports were taken again. We had to wait another 3 hours to get them back, and then we actually were relieved to get out of there. No, that's just one story.
Taking it to the other side of the table, we're just talking about the rest of the world getting familiar with metal. However, on the old metal continent, we have some troubles. First of all, the Sonisphere cancellation in the UK, and then second of all, the Roadrunner offices closing down everywhere else apart from New York. I know you're not a Roadrunner, but how does this will affect you guys when, you know, one of the biggest festival is cancelled because of poor sales or whatever the reason might be, and one of the biggest labels, his offices are getting shut down. How good or how bad is this for metal, in your opinion?
I wouldn't worry about any of it. I don't know if you ask me. I mean, metal's metal. You know, and the funny thing is that, you know, it's not a train that's just gonna, like, you know, come and go. You know, it's and I do not want to, like, you know, make this sound like a cliche, but it is. I mean, it goes to show that, you know, metal's been around for like over 30 years, you know, and people still want it, you know, they still want it. Even like, you know, like early 90s when like grunge was in, like metal was considered to be fucking gay, you know. There was like, all of a sudden there was Pantera, and then the whole world was about metal, you know. So it's, you know, I don't think anybody should worry about that shit, you know. Just like, you know, kid, you know, trying to make it bitter, you know, just do your part to, you know, make sure that it stays alive.
And we saw Sonisphere in Madrid and in Helsinki, and they were both really, really successful, so.
Of course, but the UK one being the biggest of all, you know, Queen and all this stuff.
Oh yeah, true.
But yeah, like they just said, of course it's sad that like labels get shut down all the time. It's just how music business is right now.
But
metal label
sure.
we have, so that's,
Yes.
that's why it's worrying, isn't it?
I know, but because it had nothing to do with us, kind of. So I know it's worrying, but still we were not affected by it, nor were we affected by the UK Sonisphere. So it's kind of difficult to relate.
But that's on a short term. What do you think? On a long term, don't you think this will affect you at some point?
But you know, Sonisphere went on and did their festivals in all the other countries. So to me, that just tells about poor organization in the UK end, probably.